Hey everybody, this is Jesse Krieger, founder and publisher for Lifestyle Entrepreneurs Press. We are the publisher for the passionate. And in this video, I want to talk about the top 5 mistakes that writers make and how to avoid them. And, over the last 5 years, it's been my pleasure to work with dozens of authors. We've published well over 50 books, built a 6-figure company in the publishing space. And throughout all of that, as well as running live events and building an audience into the tens of thousands, I've interacted with a lot of authors, I've interacted with a lot of writers, and I've learned an insight from the publisher's view, from the sort of the inside looking out of a book, what I've noticed as these top 5 mistakes that writers make. So I want to go through these and share them with you in hopes that it helps you write better, write more clearly, and remove the stress and anxiety that can come along that is almost part and parcel of the writing process. So number 1 is the first mistake that a lot of writers make is trying to write it all right the first time. WRITE. Trying to write it all correctly the first time is a big mistake. And what I mean by that is, sitting down and writing as if what you're writing right then is going to be the final prose that's included in the book. Obviously, that's not the case. Or if it's not obvious, please understand that it's not the case. And there's going to be, ideally, multiple rounds of editing and time for you to revise and improve. So thinking that you're going to sit down and write something brilliant, it's embarking on a fool's errand. And I advise you to avoid it. I think the solution to get out of a perfectionist mindset in the writing process is to take Hemingway's advice, which was effectively write drunk, edit sober. Now, don't actually drink unless you really got to do it to get the creative juices flowing. But then even then, don't say I told you. But write drunk, edit sober basically amounts to write first, edit later. So you need to open up that creative channel and just let the writing come out. From there, you've got something to actually work with, and then editing it separately at a different time and going through just making changes on the fly instead of writing something new. That's the best way to avoid one of the top 5 mistakes that writers make, which is trying to write it all right the first time. So, what's number 2? The second mistake that I see a lot of writers make is writing inauthentically. And trying to sound a certain way in your writing for any reason other than dramatic effect. So writing authentically, that can mean different things to different people, but what it should mean for this conversation is writing what you actually want to say and doing that in a way where you feel like you've gotten the idea out or gotten the story out if you're writing fiction. So one of the ways to avoid this, or to get into a authentic writing state before you start working on whatever project it is that you're writing or your book, is to do a free write where you're just writing stream of conscious, whatever comes out, until you get to the point where you feel like you said something good. Maybe that happens in the first few sentences. Maybe you literally got to process through whatever's going on and just write. And then at some point you say, there's a good sentence, or there's something worth writing. At that point, you can shift and start working on your actual project, your book, whatever it is that you're working on. So writing authentically isn't so much a function of being an authentic person as much as it is writing yourself into the flow state where you're accurately conveying your best thoughts. So that's number 2, writing inauthentically. The solution is to free write until you get to something good and then start the actual writing. Number 3, third mistake that a lot of authors make is starting from page 1. As in, you sit down, you say, I'm going to write my book, and you open up a document, you say, I was born in San Francisco on December 19th, and I have a sister and a mother and a father. No, you don't want to start from the beginning of the story. And it's not even good storytelling in many cases, unless it's like an autobiography. Instead, what you want to do is write based on whichever topic feels most pertinent, which one's like really hot for you right then, and really to work yourself from the middle of the book out to either ends. What I mean by that is actually writing the introduction as one of the last things that you write in your book, since at that point you're really just describing everything else that's in it. And writing from the beginning out allows you to really focus on the core content, really the reason you probably decided to write a book in the first place. Forget all the window dressing, forget all the introductory stuff. Just jump right into writing the most important thing that feels up for you right then. And then ultimately, you can piece together the entire book or the project that you're working on. So writing the introduction last is the cure to the mistake of starting from page 1. So the next number 4, the next mistake that authors make is an important one. And it's holding back anything that feels important for a future book, future article, for some time in the undefined future. And what I mean by this is I'll talk to a lot of potential authors sometimes who say, I've got this idea and it's definitely going to be a trilogy, and it might be, maybe there's even 4 books. And when we really get down to it, then maybe it could be 4 books. It could. But getting all of the key ideas and all of the plot twists that would extend over 3 or 4 books into the first one is important, because you're already asking a lot of people to buy a book and spend the hours to read it or listen to it and consume it. You don't want to have them go through that whole exercise just to not get the full picture of what you want to share. So while it's admirable to have a longer term vision, multi-book vision, what have you, it's preferable to condense as much of the interesting stuff as possible into one book, and trust that if you do that, there will still be interesting things to write about. And indeed, putting everything into one document, one book, one article, what have you, is really the way to get significant amounts of interest in your writing, such that you have the opportunity to do future books. So that is the number 4 mistake that I see authors make, which again is leaving something for the future when it could very well fit into the current book, the current writing project that you're engaged in. So the last one, the number 5 mistake, and it's good to end with this one too, because it speaks to the mistake I see a lot of writers make, which is leading a reader into a dead end, meaning they finish the book, the end, close the book, that's it, it was great, put it on a shelf, never touch it again. That's not what we want, especially if somebody's read your entire book or read the entire thing that you're working on writing. So what you want to do is always have a next step for your reader. Preferably, at least 1, but up to 3 different ways that your reader can continue learning from you, potentially working with you, and or joining your audience and getting communication from you in a different form than a book or whatever it is that they discovered you. So if you don't give a next step, then you're leading readers into a dead end. And if they hit a dead end with you, they're going to go somewhere else and continue learning, continue reading, enjoy different stories, learn from different coaches. So ultimately, you want to give a pathway to the next important steps that you want your readers to take once they've completed the act of reading what you've spent so much time writing. So those are the top 5 mistakes. I hope these are helpful, and I hope the solutions I presented help avoid them. And if you're interested in learning more, please follow our channel or like and share this. As well, if you're interested in publishing, you can get in touch below here to schedule a publishing consultation. And you can also find a lot of other videos where I've interviewed other best-selling authors and 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs from links that should be below this video. Thanks again. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.